Hello friends, and welcome to this Terraform Basics series. And this is the 10th part of this particular series, the Terraform Basics. And in this Terraform Basics, we are discussing on the variables, and this is the part 3 of the variable, in which we are going to discuss about the terraform.tfvars files. Okay, and then we are going to discuss about the custom tfvar files, because Terraform will recognize only the tfvar files which have the name of the Terraform. Okay, so for custom you have to in the CLI command you have to instruct the Terraform to read this particular tfvar files, not the Terraform. And regarding the auto.tfvars files, this is very useful when you want a same means the infrastructures that needs to be executed for the development, also for the QA, for the productions, but you want to override the variables value as per the requirement. So you will insert that some suppose like the development environment, development dot auto dot tfvar files for the development environment. When you executing the same piece of code for the QA environment, you will remove that or rename that or replace that with the QA environment, and for the staging, for the productions, so that it will execute and override the default variables value as per the requirement, as per the environment in which you are executing the codes. And also we are going to discuss about the environment variables. Okay, how can we set the environment variables and how to unset it? So we are going to discuss on those things. And regarding the variables, maybe we are going to release the other video also on the similar topics, because this is the very important topics regarding the working with the Terraform and regarding the Terraform Associate Exam also. So you can assume that they will ask you around 6 to 8 questions regarding the variables, because there are several ways to proceed with the input variables logic, and there are several methods in which you can override the variables that is defined in the default. Okay, so regarding the exam, regarding the working environment, this variable related concept is very important, and you should have a clear understanding to use the variables. Okay, and sometimes they confuse you by defining the similar variables in a different files, and they will ask you which will the Terraform will pick. Okay, and apply. So you have to understand the order of executions also, which have the higher precedence. Okay, which Terraform will look into the which files to apply it into the environments. Okay, in case if that file is missing, then it will pick the other files and then the default values. So we are going to discuss on the order also. So this session is going to be very important regarding the variables related things. Okay, so now I'm jumping to the environment, and before that I'm just giving you the informations regarding the videos that we released till date. So you can see that total 9 videos we released till date regarding the Terraform. So if you didn't refer those video, you can refer to have a better understanding on the subject, because the in these particular sessions whatever we are discussing, if you didn't refer my videos previously, then you will feel some difficulties, because maybe some of the things I've already discussed in more details in the previous video, and in this video we are just going to mention it. So if you don't refer my previous videos, because this is a series of videos and you have to go from the first to 9 video before watching the 10th one. Okay, if you have the knowledge of the Terraform, then you can pick any of the video anytime as per requirement. Okay, and other videos regarding the CK questions, this is the most popular series on the CK exam for the Kubernetes, and lots of notifications I received that people tagging me on the LinkedIn that he will able to complete with the help of this challenge series of the CKA exams. It's very helpful because each of the part have the three questions, and I also provided the complete lab on those questions. Okay, so you can see that this is the full bundle, and I'm also soon I'm going to add some more questions on it which is missing, so like the sidecar services. Okay, so I'm going to cover those as well. And this is the Kubernetes topics. And till date, I covered the 15 topics. And soon I'm going to add more on it. Regarding the DevOps, this is also a most popular series on the DevOps where I covered most of the things till the Kubernetes. And for the Kubernetes, I am planning to release some videos on the Kubernetes also. So this will be a complete bundle to the beginners who just want to learn the DevOps related things. So when they are very confused, and I received lots of questions like from where to start learning the DevOps. So this series is very helpful, and not only the Kubernetes side, I am going to explore more things on this particular series. So you can see that uh, I keep on adding more videos on this particular series to just help our community. If someone want to learn the DevOps related things, they can refer my videos. Okay, and this is the AWS environment. Currently, we don't have any instance, so I'm going to close the things that is not related with this particular video series. Okay, so I closed all the things. And one more things regarding the input variables. Okay, the precedence is regarding the order in which the Terraform read the file. So what the Terraform says that the Terraform loads variable in the following order with the latest sources taking precedence over the earlier ones. So this one is the higher order of precedence. Like in my previous video, you can see that I override using the CLI command. So this is the things that have the higher order in the precedence. If you are overriding any of the variable using the CLI commands, that will override all the things that you defined. Either it is in the terraform.tfvars files, either in the variables.tf files, or any environment variables. It will override all the things. And the auto, if you are not overriding through the CLI and you have the auto files defined, then it will take the precedence. Okay, if you don't have the auto done, then the tfvars.json file will take the precedence. Okay, if you don't have this, then it will this file will take the precedence. If you don't have the terraform.tfvars files, then the environment variable, if you set in the through the CLI, it will take the precedence. If you don't have the environment variable, then the default variables which you defined will take the precedence. Like this is the default variables. If you defer my previous video, you can see that I have the four variables: one for the AMI, the image ID, one for the instance type, one for the reason, and one for the instance count. Okay, so this is the Terraform file that I'm using since last video, and this one is commented. Let me remove it, so it's not required. So I removed this one, and currently we don't have any extra things that I commented out. So okay, so this is the Terraform version. Okay, and this is the provider version. I am using the AWS, and for the AWS region, I am referring the var AWS region. This is coming from here. Okay, AP South 1 Mumbai region. Okay, and for the EC2, I'm using the meta arguments. I already discussed in the previous video. So whatever the instance count I defined in the variables, by default it's 3. So it will create a 3 instance in the AWS environment. Okay, and it will tag the accordingly. So this is the things that we discussed in the past video also, and this is the instance type, that which type of instance I'm going to. So by default, I've assigned it to T2 large, and we are going to see in this video how we can uh, use the other overridings related things like the Terraform, the TFVAR files. Okay, so let me run it as it is first. I'm not going to apply just the Terraform plan. So Terraform init. Just need to initialize it because I used in the previous videos, and it's better to initialize all the things. If we have any modifications, then it will apply those changes as well. Okay, so it's fine. The Terraform validate, just to check that there is any syntax error anywhere, then we will rectify those as well. Okay, this is fine. Terraform FMT. Just this is also required because you can see that the two files names comes into the picture. It means that the Terraform find that there is a format problem and it's fixed into those two files. Okay, perfect. Now Terraform plan. I'm not going to overwrite it or not going to save in the other files that I did it in the past sections. So if you want to refer my those how to make write all the things, all the command in a plan and then execute it for further use, so you can refer my past video. Okay, I'm not going to apply it. I'm just going to show you how what it's going to do. So it's going to create a 3 instance. Okay, and the type of all the instance is instance type is t2.large. Now I'm going to create a one file here. Okay, let me create a with the terraform.tfvars files. So I'm going to create a terraform file here, terraform.tfvars. Okay, so you can see that it's recognized it as a terraform file. Okay, now what we are going to use, we are going to override two variables. Okay, this one instance type, I am going to copy it, I'm going to paste it here, and what it will be the type, I'm going to override with t2 micro. Okay, and the other variables that I'm going to pick is this one. Okay, I'm going to copy it here. Okay, and the default is 3. It creates it the 3 environment with the default setting. I'm going to use it as 1. Okay, so 1 instance. So now if I run this command, I just define it. Okay, terraform.tfvars files. So you have to be very strict with this naming convention. Okay, there will be no typo. Okay, terraform.tfvars files. The Terraform will automatically pick. Now these variables have the lower precedence and this one is the higher. So if the terraform.tfvars file exists, like in this example, this file exists and we don't have any this also have the lower precedence. Okay, this one is the higher precedence. We don't have this file, we don't have this file, and we don't have this file, and we are not going to override with the CLI command because this have the very higher precedence. Okay, so what we are going to do, we just created this file and put the value there. So we apply it. Okay, so by default, what is the type? t2.large. What is the instance? How many instance count? 3. And we override with t2.micro and only one instance. Okay, now I'm going to save it. Now again I am going to run a simple plan. So this time, as per that logic, it should have to create only one instance. Okay, so one instance. Okay, this is for perfectly fine. And what is the type? The type is t2 micro. So the previous default type is now override. Okay, this is the first thing. Okay, suppose that you have the default setting, all the settings you done, that is, this is the terraform variables and this is the terraform files. Now if you want to use the other file name, like in this example, let me create a queue for the qa one. Okay, qa.tfvars. Okay, I'm going to and I'm going to just copy the all the things from here. Okay, and not I'm going to paste it, but here I'm going to use the we have the t2 large. For the qa we require the x large. Okay, t2 dot and we required 5 instances in the QA environment. Okay, but the problem is that Terraform will not recognize this one. You can see that the Visual Studio, the Visual Code Editor will recognize it as a Terraform, but when you run the Terraform, it will not going to recognize it. It will going to recognize it only this file. Okay, and let me show you this as well to have a better understanding. So you can see that I created, and this one is not saved yet. Let me save it. So this is the value for the type t2.xlarge, and the instance count is 5. Fine. Now I'm going to just run the plan again. So this time also the plan will say that we are going to add only one instance. So you can see only one instance it's going to add. Why? Because the Terraform will not recognize this file. So you have to make this file recognized explicitly. So you have to say Terraform that I want you to refer this particular file, not the terraform.tfvars files. Okay, so in that case we have to say Terraform explicitly. So in the Terraform file you have to say that okay, the var.file that you have to take is the qa one, qa.tfvars. Okay, and now I will run this, and this will going to recognized, and then it will going to create 5 instances for the QA environment. Now it will not going to refer the Terraform .tfvars file. So you can see the 5. It's going to add the 5 because we instruct the Terraform that you have to refer this one, not this one. Okay, so Terraform will ignore this one, and Terraform will go and after looking for the default variable, it's going to refer the TFR files. Okay, and as I am running this piece of code very frequently right now, so it will not refer this file and this file. It's just jump to take the value from this one. Okay, so this is the thing. So how can we make it as a default? We don't want to instruct the Terraform all the time. This is for the QA environment, and we are currently building the infrastructure in the QA environment. We don't want to say through the CLI command. What is the other way? So the other way is that you have to rename it. You QA dot simple auto. If you initialize with this one, like whatever the file name, and then dot, then auto, and then tfvars, then you don't have to say Terraform explicitly. Okay, so now I'm going to run it again, and this time I'm going to remove all the things. Simple Terraform plan. So Terraform will look into the Terraform auto file, and it will give the higher order of the precedence for the execution. So you can see again it's executing and creating for the 5 instance, because as per the documentations we have the auto file exist, and this one is the higher precedence with the terraform.tfvar file JSONs and terraforms.tfvar files, because we are not instructing anything through the CLI, because this one is the very higher precedence. Okay, so now what we did for the QA environment. Similarly, you can do it for the staging environment and production environment. You have to remove this one, or you can rename it or configure in the working environment. Definitely we create a separate Terraform VR files for each environment with the same naming convention. Like this is for the QA, this is for the development, this is for the staging, this is for the production environment, and you can put that file into the folder, okay, where we are executing this. So this is the thing regarding the Terraform. Okay, and one more thing, just I want to mention, and you can say that this is the homework for you. If you are using the Linux instance, you can define the environment variables. So how can we set the environment variables? Like set environment variables. Okay, how can we set? So if you are using the Linux, okay, so you can configure it as export using the export command. Okay, and you have to initialize with the tfvar. Okay, tf underscore var. So this is the syntax for any variable. So you have to write the tf underscore var. After that you can use the instance type. Okay, so this is the two instance uh, for which we are trying to learn the Terraform. Okay, so you have to mention it here, and you can assign any of the value that you want to set it as a Terraform, like t2.medium. Okay, and similarly you can set it for the instance type using the similar command. Okay, and here you have to use the AWS instance, and you can say that I want to create a 10 instance. This one should be the same, and you have to change this one. Okay, just paste it here, and this is the 10. Okay, and how can you sorry, how can you check that the environment variable is set properly in your environment? Through echo command. Okay, you can execute the both the echo, just control C dollar, and here you have to pass it in the similar way. Okay, dollar, and then this one. Okay, so one more thing, how can you unset it? So you have to use this command unset, simple, and you have to give the value of this one, like you can want to unset it for this particular environment. Sorry, unset. Okay, so you can this is the you can say the homework for you guys. If you have the Linux instance, you can set, but this have the lower precedence. Lower precedence will go accordingly. This have the lower than if you have the Terraform tfvar files with the name Terraform. Okay, and any customs, then you have to explicitly say the Terraform that I am want to use this particular tfvar files, like for the QA productions. Or if you have the auto, then it will take the higher precedence, and in the through the var, through the CLI command, or any file that you want to mention to take check for the variables that you want to use to deploy or configure the infrastructure in any of the environment. Okay, so I think this video is very helpful and very beneficial for you guys. If you like my video, just subscribe to my channel and gives me a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and make a good environment for the learning. And if you have any confusion, you just comment in the videos, and I will definitely respond on your questions accordingly. So thank you guys for watching this video, and have a nice day.